Hi, I'm Guy Trainin from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln College of Education in Human Sciences.
I'm Chris Liu from Nebraska Department of Education. I'm the World Language Specialist.
And this is Teaching World Language with Technology series from TechEdge. And today we're going to talk about Jamboard. So tell me a little bit about Jamboard.
Jamboard, I have to say, in a very simple way, is an electronic whiteboard, which means teachers can do whatever they used to do with whiteboard now on a much advanced level with this platform, Jamboard, with students. And students can do all the work individually or as group work.
And what I love about Jamboard is it's really an open-ended platform. You can teach anything and everything, and we'll talk some ideas about world language, but really it is an open-ended platform that has some of the advantages that regular whiteboards, and our world is filled with whiteboards, don't do. And one is that they are digital, so you can type. You don't have to draw with your hand. If you've ever seen my handwriting, you know that's a blessing. The second thing is that you can actually save whatever you have. So you have the evidence for student learning or the evidence of the learning that you want to share with everybody so they know what happened in class. So multiple perspective of this digital world. The third thing to know is that you need to log in with your Google ID, which is very, very common throughout all of our schools. It's not all of them, but you do have to know that you have to have a Google ID to be able to log in to Jamboard. So talk about some ideas that we can use it specifically in world language.
We can use Jamboard to do brainstorming. So here is an example. Thanks for all the teachers created those sticky notes and contribute to the Jamboard.
And anybody adding a note can choose the color, and then, or you can assign color by person, and you can write more or less. You can also input pictures, symbols, and things like that. And you see some of these examples. I love the visual of the sticky note because it does allow kids to also be short and not just contribute large chunks of text, but you can do more text, as well as you can see in this one.
Yeah. And also another idea is to use it as, manipulatives. So here is our example for world language classroom. We can do living sentences. So we can have students do it in groups or individually. Students can move around like, okay, Alice might be the person. And in the library should maybe go to the next or whatever. To meet, on Saturday, kind of.
I think that agreed should be after Alice.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Alice agreed to meet
Somebody.
Okay,
That may be Tom. Yeah.
in the library
In the library.
on Saturday morning
And
at 10:30.
at,
Okay. Okay.
maybe we need to put Tom,
Tom and Alice.
Alice and Tom.
Okay. Alice goes first. I understand. All right. So you can see how the manipulatives work and how suddenly you can have a real discussion between students about the structure of sentence in that specific language and how all the words fit. And you can also create an overabundance of words and make them make different sentences. So use the manipulatives in a way that you can actually make 4 or 5 sentences instead of just one. Lots of ways to think about how you do that. And the advantage, again, is that you have 2 things happening. One is you have just manipulating words instead of having to write them from scratch every time. It practices grammar, it practices different features of the language without having to go, especially at the beginning, just making the words can take a long time. The second thing is that aspect of recording. I can see the sentence they did, or they can take a screenshot and say, here are the sentences we did. So it's a way to communicate what has actually happened without the teacher actively monitoring in real time.
Yeah, I really like the way of, this we actually set students in groups, they can talk through, and they are communicating. That's interpersonal mode. That's really what we want to encourage students to do in World Language Classroom.
All right.
Yeah,
And the third one?
We can also use Jamboard to do as graphic organizer. We can put all the graphic organizers as background, so you can do whatever you want. Here is KWL chart, and we have Venn diagrams without titles, without any marks. And also we can do like 4 corners, Jamboard.
And so really what happens with graphic organizers is you can take whatever graphic organizer you like or you find anywhere and just take a picture of that graphic and drop it into the Jamboard and people can write on top of it. So it doesn't disappear, it doesn't take over, and it becomes just the background on which students can work. And finally, we are talking about peer review using Jamboard. I'm excited to see this because I've never seen this done.
We can actually assign students to do short writing, and then we ask each student to put their names on it. So their peers actually can go and to give feedback to the writing and make suggestions, or sometimes, we need a thumb up from peers as well. So normally I would ask my students to find something you like, and find something that you would recommend to do it in a different way and acknowledge the effort. So in this format, all the students get a little bit encouragement from their peers, and at the same time, they get feedback to be better.
So this is Jamboard. Great tool because it is so open-ended. The open-endedness does require you as a teacher to think about pedagogy, to think about your goals and what you're trying to achieve. But what you get on the other side is that open flexibility that allows you to do and design whatever you need.
Yeah, and also I would like to share some resources that I have collected from online. So if you go to NDE World Language, you will find NDE World Language Text Snack, so which will include all the things we are going to talk about or have talked about.
In this whole series about teaching world language with technology. So everything is going to be there, and the link is going to be on the bottom, so we share it, and we'll see you next time on Teaching World Language with Technology from TechEdge.
Thank you.